Welcome to Aquaponics Solutions in the Anders Farm. Today we are visiting our partner Wolfgang and have a look to his aquaponics system.
Come in and find out.
Now we are in the room of the aquaculture, and Wolfgang will show you around in his aquaculture room here, show you the module system and all the technical equipment he has here. You are running the system the whole year round?
No, we stopped during winter due to the effort of heating. So we have very cold winters here, and we stopped last winter for the first time. We were running 2.5 years, and last winter we said no, let's not waste too much electricity. We have a photovoltaic system on the roof, but it's not so sunny in the winter, so we had to, we stopped the production.
And you harvest anyway so much fish.
It's much too much for me and my family and my friends.
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine. We start normally in February, March with the baby fish, and in September, October we have the slaughter day.
Normal, the module is capable of holding at least 100 fish or 150 fish, 200 to 300 kilogram density at the very end. At the moment, how many fish do you have in the system?
We have 70 fish here.
Yeah.
So this is because we don't need so many, and it's like a private system, and we are producing for ourselves and friends and neighbors. Yeah, well, to explain the module a little bit, this module is insulated so that there are thick walls to keep the warm water or the energy inside. We have the grow out tank where there are 70 fish, and we have the filter system. The first one is the solids filter, so the feces and the rest of the feed should stay here inside. There's a brush filter, and everything has to be here. Here's the fine filter where all the particles are filtered out of the water, and this has to be cleaned once a week. That's our recommendation. And the second part of the filter is the biofilter, which is a moving bed, and you see the movement of the helix of the biocarrier. The movement is issued by air, so we are just pumping air inside of this chamber, and this creates this movement, and the pump.
Yeah. Can you keep it open? That's exactly the movement which is optimal for a biofilter. If it's too much, you're losing nitrification, and it should be all moving like slow boiling water, and that's the perfect movement you should have in a biofilter.
This is our fish tank. The airlift pump is moving the water from the biofilter into the grow out tank. There are 70 African catfish here inside. African catfish is a warm water fish, so we need at least 25 degrees Celsius, and the water is circulating and is exchanged 1.4 times per hour. That's the sweet spot. So the water is exchanged more than once per hour.
Yeah. Normally in aquaculture you say at least you should pump the water 1 time the volume of the grow out system of the fish tank. You should pump. We usually go up to at least 1.3 times an hour, because then the ammonium gets fast away from the gills of the fish, and it's much more healthy for the fish, and it's the water quality is much healthier. And to say this, if you raise the flow rate of your system, the nitrification raises equally with it, at least with between 1 time pumping and 2 times per hour pumping. The nitrification rate will nearly linear raise with the pumping rate. Okay, and you have only 70 fish in there. Slaughter weight is typically around 2 kilograms. but you will have, when you slaughter, you will have some smaller fish and
that's
some.
So I would say 70-80% of the fish is around about 2 kilograms. There are some quite heavier and some are a little bit smaller. That's nature.
Perfect. If we look at the technical part there, you have the electricity really nicely made.
Every circuit is with its own fuse, so we can switch off all the sockets, all the pumps by the switches, and we're using a blue lab Guardian for indicating the EC value, the temperature of the water, and the pH value.
Yeah. Normally we recommend to run the system at a pH between 6.2 and 6.4 would be the total sweet spot. You can raise the pH with calcium carbonate or other things very easy, but if you are between, in our systems, between 5.0 and 7.0, it's running really, really good. Normally we want to have a lower pH. We don't want to run our systems above 7.5 because there a lot of ammonium is converted to ammonia, which is really poisoning. So for the fish it's much better to run at a lower pH, and also the plants, the best nutrient efficiency is around, with most of the vegetables, around 6.2 to 6.4. If you run a system in a closed room, normally it's quite possible to do it with the module when you close it, because if it's closed there's really little evaporation of water, but it gets critical if the room is not heated at all. If you run the water temperature at 26 degrees Celsius, for example, and the room is probably 5 degrees or here in the winter, then the difference of the temperature of the water and the air temperature is so high that you have more evaporation of water, and then you run into problems very easily with the humidity in the room. If you use a latex painting or if you use tiles, you can run it in a closed system. If you have not a room which is made for water system, I wouldn't recommend in really cold climate if you can't heat the room.
And I want to show you the connection to the hydroculture. So the aquaculture module is a plug and play module. It's running on its own if you want, but we always recommend to connect it to your hydroponic system, and this is done by 2 pipes. This is the flow to the media bed, and the second pipe is the return from the deep water culture. We have a stand pipe, an overflow pipe in the biofilter, which defines the level of the water. Water is going out to the hydroponics greenhouse, and the return, you will see, this is the amount of water that is running permanently to the hydroponic system and back.
And to add this, the cleanage of the filter is really easy. You have a valve which you open and you spray it with rinse it from top, and it's maybe work between 5 to 10 minutes to clean the filter. He lets all his work is done by his father, so it's cleaned every week, which is really top, which is the best recommendation. If you clean it once a week, 5 to 10 minutes, it's not a lot of work. But some people, especially if the fish are smaller, they clean it only every other week. At the end, if you have like 200 kilograms in here, you have to clean it at least once a week. Okay, just to show that there are some fish in there. Yeah. That's the size of the fish at the moment. Yeah. Soll ich ihn rausnehmen? Ja. Okay, here we are at the greenhouse at Wolfgang, and we will have a short tour by him through his greenhouse.
Yeah, the water flows out of the fish area to the media bed. This is expanded clay, which is also used in construction sites to green a rooftop, for example. And we have one pipe with outlets that can be adjusted quite easily by hand. And so with these outlets we can define where the water should flow, mainly to the bigger plants. And the water is trickling through the media, and then where this opening goes through a pipe and comes to the deep water culture, where these plates are floating on the water, and the plants are really growing with the roots in the water. And what you hear maybe is the air bubbles that are necessary to have enough oxygen at the roots to keep the plants healthy.
Beside the deep water culture, there's also an NFT system here on top. He's running the NFT with these plant plugs, which we always use in our systems because they are really handy. You just put the plant in and stuck it in here. And the other thing is that it closes the hole quite nice, so that there's no evaporation and there's a lot of humidity in the pipe. And if you want to do strawberries like here, there's paprika, pepper and tomatoes, but there is strawberries. And for strawberries, the NFT system is by far the best systems. They are really, really fragile if they get water on the leaves. They very easily get fungus, and so it's very important for strawberries that there's no water contact for the leaves. Yeah, beside this there are cucumbers, tomatoes, strawberries, pepper. With cucumbers I have always the trouble that after a while they have a lot of fruits. You can harvest a lot, but after the high season in summertime, normally the plant dies in our systems. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the heat in the glass house. If it's really hot, we always get this green surface here, and I'm not sure. I don't think that's a missing nutrient. I think it's the heat. But if someone of you knows why the cucumber dies after a while, I just plant a new one and raise a new one, it's no problem. But I would be interested why the plant always dies after 4 months, probably in the high noon of the summertime when it's really hot, it's dying. Okay, so I think we got a good picture of your greenhouse. Thanks a lot, Wolfgang, and see you next time.
Bye bye.